Hi there, my name is Hussein. Hello, I'm Hassan. Welcome back to the Achilles podcast. This episode is about Bali. It's an island in Indonesia. The term paradise often gets mentioned together with Bali. Our guest is our friend Nazar Malik. Please enjoy our conversation about Bali with Nazar Malik. Hi Nazar.
Hi, Hassan and Hussein.
How are you doing?
I'm great. So anyway, thank you for have calling. So how are you, both of you?
Yeah, we are doing great. It's so nice to talk to you. It's been a while,
Yeah,
right? More than a year.
exactly. I think it's been more than a year since we met in Bali, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for doing this, and we appreciate that.
You are very welcome.
We have so many questions about Bali.
Please give me as much as you can.
Yeah, and you were such a great host.
Thank you. You are a great guest as well. Anyway.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so could you please talk about yourself a little bit, about your background?
Hello everyone that whoever that are going to listen this podcast later on. My name is actually Nazar. I'm originally from Makassar, South Sulawesi. It's another island of Indonesia. So I'm not originally from Bali. So I just flew away from my hometown to Makassar almost 2 years ago. It's about 1 hour and a half flight from Bali to my hometown. So it's kind of a little bit difficult to explain about Indonesian geography because we have 17,000 islands. So can you imagine? So
Wow.
and I'm coming from one of those islands. So I'm quite active in social and then youth activity in Indonesia. Actually, I just back from USA from youth program from the Ministry of Education and Foreign Affairs of America. So after back from America, and then I packed my bag and then stay in Bali. And then right now I'm working in education company that literally sending students to study abroad. And then here I am.
And how long have you been living in Bali?
I think I have been living in Bali for almost 2 years. Yeah.
I see. Yeah, so do you know Bali well? Because all of the questions we have here about Bali, so.
Well, probably I can explain some.
Mhm.
Well, actually, also Bali is quite well known in Indonesia, even though you are living in other island. But we know very well what about Bali is, and then also the culture, and then the custom, and then also the activities that going here because it's quite famous city and then island as well. And then we can actually say that Bali is one of the most famous islands in Indonesia. But probably I cannot explain too deep in some part. So yeah, I do apologize for that.
No, that's okay. Yeah, the language in Bali is different, right? From the place you
Yes.
came from.
Yeah,
And
there's exactly.
and the people, the religion is also different. So what do you think about that?
Yeah.
Because it's Indonesia, but it's still different.
Yeah, okay. So that's the most interesting part when you came to Indonesia that in every city or every island they have their own languages because we have 652 languages around Indonesia.
Wow.
And then each area or each island they have it's kind of totally different languages, so sometimes it's hard to understand, but luckily we have Indonesian language that unite us. So yeah, it's easy to communicate each other. And also in Indonesia, well known as one of the biggest population Muslim in the world. We have approximately 250 citizens who's living in Indonesia, and then 90% of them are Muslim. But the most interesting part is Bali is we can say that 90% of Balinese is actually Hindu. So it's coming from because in the past Indonesia actually before coming to Islam, Indonesia passed some religious era, like starting from animism, and then after that going to Hindu, and then Buddhist, and then after that Muslim. So at that time when Muslim eras like grow in Indonesia, and then some people that was living in Java Islands at that time when the era of Kingdom of Majapahit, they migrate to Bali, and then that's how the culture and then the system still exists in Bali. Actually, it's coming from 100 years ago.
Yeah. And how people say hi to each other there? Do they greet? Do they shake their hands, or how is it?
All right. Yes, of course. Before the corona, so we shake the hand, we say hi. But after the corona, then everything's going to the sign language. Yes. So when I mean like. In Indonesia, mostly when we met people and then we say hello and then we shake the hand and then we say apa kabar, means that how are you. That's how we like the greeting, the most common greeting in Indonesia.
And what do you say? How do you say hi in Bali?
Well, we say hello or hi. It's quite common actually. Mostly in Indonesia, generally we say hello or hi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And do people speak English there?
Well, do you mean like in Bali or in Indonesia?
In Bali.
In Bali. So yeah, surprisingly, because Bali is quite famous as the tourism city, and then mostly in Indonesia, if you are labeled as tourism city, means that the education system and then the quality of the people who's living there actually much way better than others, and then also they can speak English well because they are prepared by the government at the school with intensive training and then also education in English. So mostly the people here can speak English. Surprisingly, when you go to the traditional market as well, when you met with the old lady, they actually can speak English, even though it's not that formal language or sometimes grammatically incorrect, but at least we can understand. But in Bali, I would say that mostly people here can speak English, and then yeah, it's kind of active speaking.
Cool. And what do you think? What might surprise foreigners if they visit Bali?
Okay, so first of all, because Bali is also well known as the island of smile. So whenever you go in the corner of Bali, you always can see people smile, which is actually some of my foreigner friends told me that in Western culture, sometimes smiling on the road, it's kind of a bit weird, and then maybe the people think that you're crazy. But actually, in Bali, in everywhere, even no matter how, no matter your age, actually, when you see people and then they always smile. So that's the first thing that you have to, adapt with that. Every people will always smile to you, and then especially if you are the foreigner. And then the second one, I think the most interesting part of Bali is you cannot find any skyscraper, the tall building, because there is a rule in Bali that the building actually cannot higher than the temple. Temple is the place of the religious place of the Hindus, so the place that they go to pray. And then there is a rule in here in Bali that temple is must be the highest building in everywhere, so you cannot find any skyscraper here.
At the beginning, when we saw so many statues, they seemed a little bit scary. I mean, the face expression.
All right.
Why do you think they make them this way? I mean, the scary face.
All right. Well, okay. So, well, actually, it's the symbol of the guardian. So it's
Guardian.
like it show, yeah, it's kind of the power and or something like that. But also there is a statue in Bali that the symbol of evil, devil or something like that. But you can actually find some quite charming and beautiful. It's like the symbol of angel
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something like
There
that.
were some
Yeah,
animals also.
yeah. Okay, because in Hinduism, actually, you believe a lot of things, and then also some animals actually is a sacred, like the cows, and yeah, some mythologies. Because in Hindu, there are a lot of mythologies, so it's kind of the representative of their mythologies, and then they make it as a statue.
Oh, I see. And can
Yeah.
you also explain what is Canang Sari, right?
Oh, Chamang Sari.
Canang
Okay.
Sari, yeah. So why people do that and what is that?
Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, Chanang is kind of the let me think a little bit. Chanang is actually the one of the tools that you bring when you go to pray
Mm-hmm.
in the temple. So it's kind of plate, but it's actually made from the leaf or coconut mostly, and then you put some like flour, and then also sometimes candy, and then also biscuit on that plate, a small plate made by the leaf of coconut, and then it show you respect to the god. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
mostly the people make that and then bring it to the temple.
Yep.
And what do they do with that food the next day?
Where well, sometimes the people just throw away after, but mostly they put it in front of the temple,
Mm-hmm.
and then they believe that the spirit of their god or whoever they praise for, it's coming, and then have that kind of food or thing that they put on the temple.
Uh-huh. So people or in animals, they are not allowed to eat that?
Well, actually, when you bring something to the temple, means that it's for the god in
Mm-hmm.
Hinduism belief. So, much way better if you are not eating that, because
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
not supposed to for you. But sometimes they just bring the small things, like kind of small gifts, like one candy and then one piece of biscuit and then also one piece of cake, and then they put it together with the flour,
Mm-hmm.
and then some kind of aromatherapy, and then they burn it.
Oh,
Yeah, and then that's the media of the Hinduism pray.
wow.
Yeah. This is something unique because we saw that even in the beaches, in the shops.
Exactly, yeah,
Yeah.
in the shop, and then all, yeah, because they believe that that's something unique in Hindus, because Hindus believe like a lot of angel, guardian, and everything. So they believe that in every place they have their own guardian. So in your house you have your own guardian, in your shop, even though like on the road. So yeah, they put that kind of chanang sari or media that to
Mm-hmm.
respect the guardian there.
You have a waste problem, right? I mean, in Bali, you don't use plastic, right?
Plastic bags.
Plastic bags, yeah.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, that's plastic trash is actually kind of issues that quite become a conversation in the corner here in Bali, because like we are the tourism destination, and then so many people come to visit here, and then we still have to educate people about how danger about the plastic actually, because mostly the plastic in Indonesia is unreusable plastic. So yeah, you still can find it somewhere. Sadly, some part of Bali they are kind of fighting this issue seriously, because when in the morning, and then you can see the plastics is coming from the sea to the shore, and then you can see that exactly in the morning. But right now, I think luckily the government of Bali right now has a lot of program, and then collaborate with local youth and then also the community here about the campaign of how dangerous plastic is. So in Bali, actually, you are not allowed to use a plastic bag if you go to some modern shop or you go to the supermarket, you have to have your own tote bag or reusable bag, because otherwise they will charge you more if you buy the plastic. But at some point, it still happen in traditional market that sometimes the people use their plastic. But actually in Bali right now, I think it's happened for a couple of years already that plastics are actually forbidden here.
Oh, that's cool.
good,
Yeah. I wish we also had that in Tajikistan.
Yeah.
Okay, if you could choose three aspects of your culture to put in a time box for the future, what would you put in it?
Okay, so if I have that chance, that probably first of all I would put respectful, because the first thing is in Indonesia, generally and especially in Bali as well, the people here are so respectful. I mean, like we are kind of really open to foreigners, to the people, but at the same time we also have a respectful to the elderly people, to the newcomers, even though to our friend and everything. So definitely I will put that aspect at the first things. And then the second one, I guess, I think the togetherness. In Bali, there is a culture, and then generally in Indonesia as well, actually. We call it gotong royong. So gotong royong is, in English, we call it togetherness. So, for example, if you have any occasion like a party, and then we can see that a whole of the village is coming, hundred of people will come to your house and then help you, and then they even bring some stuff. So that kind of thing, we call it togetherness. Like sometimes if you have kind of wedding party in 1 week later, so the people start coming to your house even the 2 weeks before, like bring their own stuff, bring the food, and then ask that what kind of that I could help or something like that. So this kind of togetherness or gotong royong apply in our life, especially in Bali, starting from the biggest occasion until the small occasion. So mostly the people here as well, you know your neighbor very well in the left and the right side, which is sometimes when you are living in a metropolitan city or sometimes in another country, it's hard to know your neighborhood. But in Bali here, even though until 100 meters of away, and then you can still know your neighborhood. And then the last part, I think the tolerance. We are a country that I mean, like we are the multicultural country. In Indonesia, there are 6 religions here, and then we live together hand in hand. So, of course, I will put that aspect as well. So yeah, the respectful togetherness and then the tolerance.
Oh, that's cool. And would you also add the kopi luwak, and the dessert you bought for us, the green one?
Yeah,
That was nice.
good.
That was, yeah, something really nice.
Yeah,
sweet.
probably. Yeah, I think in Bali, yeah, the coffee, of course. I mean, like Bali is one of the biggest coffee producer in Indonesia, and then we have here luwak coffee. So it's kind of from the nocturnal animal. So they eat coffee and then they do the fermentation on their tummy, and then after that they poop, and then the people go to take that coffee, but of course they clean it and then they do the process like to kill the bacteria or something, and it's become one of the most expensive coffee in the world, I guess. So we call it luwak coffee. It's from the animals.
Yeah, that's one of the most expensive one.
And have you tried that
Yeah.
coffee?
Well, actually, because I'm a Muslim, so it's forbidden for us to eat actually the whatever that it's considered as a poop.
Yeah.
Well, even though we clean it and then
it's still-
well, actually it's just doing the fermentation of the tummy, but we still consider it. Yeah, so not, but based on my friend's comment, and they thought that it's one of the most delicious coffee that they've ever tried.
Yeah, we haven't tried that either.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Why don't you told me then, so I can bring you to the coffee plantation, and then
I think
mostly they have.
we didn't at that time. We didn't know about that.
Yeah, we didn't know about that at the time.
And
Oh my
3-4
gosh.
days is not enough.
Do you know what is the sign that, yeah,
Yeah, please.
do you know what is the sign that you have to back to Bali?
Yes, and for surfing also, because that was so good.
Yeah, yeah. Bali is really famous with the beach.
What culture besides your own do you admire, and why?
I think the Mexican, the Latinas, that how passionate they are in life. I mean, like they are well known about their music, their art, or something like that. So that's the thing that I really admire about. I mean, like Spanish,
The way they express
Latin,
themselves.
yeah, the way they express their life through music. I think there's something that really impressed me.
If a group of people just came to your hometown from overseas, what advice would you give them? Maybe to go to somewhere to eat or be careful of something.
Okay, so Bali, actually you can experience everything in Bali, from the mountain, from the forest, from the beach, from the culture. So you can experience everything here. Bali, I would say that if you the first time if you came to Bali, and then of course you have to enjoy the beach because it's really famous. Bali is has some places that consider as one of the beautiful beaches in the world. So in the south area of Bali, they have a beautiful beach there, and then also bars, so you can have and then you can also do the surfing or something like that, and then the south part. And if you are really into kind of nature like forests, and then you can go to the north. And then in the north also, in the north of Bali, they have a volcano as well, because Indonesia is consists of the country that include in the ring of fire. So the active volcano, and then one of the active volcano is actually in Bali. We call it Mount Agung. So you can see there the volcano there in the north of Bali, and that's from the south to the north. And then from the east to the west, they are more well known in the rice field, in the villa, laid back life. There are so many digital nomad there, living small bungalow, and then really cute cafe or something like that, and then you can explore there. So and then other than that, you can also go to the small islands around Bali, because Bali is actually the big island, but beside that they have a small island. We call it Nusa Penida, and then even the Nusa Penida, in one of the is considered of one of the most destination of backpacker, like the first in the top list of the destination of backpacker in the world, in Nusa Penida. I think that's released in 2020 and then 2021. For the Nusa Penida Island. And then also you can explore in Bali or experience the religious tourism, something like that. So you can go to the temple, and then you can see the ceremony, especially the religious ceremony. So people here, the Hindu, the way they pray is really, really interesting, and then is so magical to see. So you can experience that as well. In Bali, I guess in every 100 meters, you can see the temple. So it's so many temples here. It's countless. You can experience that as well. And then also the most interesting part, if you came to Bali, and then you can see ngaben. So ngaben is kind of ceremony for the people already passed away, and then they burn the body. So they call it ngaben ceremony. So that's kind of experience that probably you should try in Bali. Of course, the food here are so affordable. You can always go to the traditional market with really really artistic. They sell the craft and then so many art piece there in traditional market. So there are a lot of things that you can enjoy while you are in Bali.
Yeah. And what was the name of that thing? The pie you bought us? Do you remember? It has many
Green
slices,
one?
huh?
Ah,
The green, yeah.
the green one. Oh my god, what is the name of that? The green one? Okay, we call it dadar.
That,
Dadar. So it's kind of pancake, if I'm not mistaken, but inside you can roll pancake actually, and then you can find it inside young coconut with the palm sugar. It's really really traditional for breakfast.
yeah.
In Bali, there are so many dragon fruit. What else? Mango, coconut, of course. Here you can find it. It's really cheap.
And one thing we would recommend other people to try is to go to buffet at the all eat all you can. So that was the good thing we had there. You can try so many things at
Ah,
once.
yeah, yeah. In Indonesia, we call it prasmanan. Especially in Bali, we call it prasmanan, or in English, we call it buffet. So you can, I mean, like, they have a certain price, and then you just go there and then eat everything as much
Yeah.
as you want.
Make sure you are
Actually, yeah,
hungry. You don't
that's
have
really
your
interesting.
breakfast, your your dinner. Yeah.
Yeah, did you experience
Yes.
that as well here?
Yeah. And
And then also one thing that it's, yeah, here in Bali is the vegetarian lifestyles, because like mostly Hindu don't eat. They have a certain kind of animals that they cannot eat, and then I think that that how the vegetarian culture here starting, and then so many place that restaurant or cafe that serve vegetarian food. So for the vegetarian people or even the pagan people, you can actually come to Bali. Is a paradise for you because you can find it with a very affordable price.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, you know that some our Chinese Tajik friends, they didn't like Chinese food because they eat pork a lot. So as a Muslim,
Okay.
is it easy to find nice food in Bali for you? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There is Muslim restaurant. Actually, we call it nasi padang. So Padang is is one of the city in Indonesia that really famous with the culinary, and then they are well known as a Muslim city. And in Indonesia, almost in all city in Indonesia, they have that restaurant, and then the price is really affordable, and then they have a very delicious food. They serve vegan and normal food. So yeah, it's easy to find. They have a lot here brands in Bali. So don't, I mean, like, when you are vegan or when you are Muslim traveler, so don't worry. Bali is really really safe place for that, especially when it coming to the food. And then also that so many restaurants in Bali serve halal food. So when you are a Muslim and just tell the restaurant owner that I want the halal food, and then they will serve you. They know the
Wow,
standard
that's good.
already.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
what is the best time to visit Bali? What do you think? In terms of the weather, holidays?
So in Bali, the best time actually to visit in Bali is starting from, I guess, from March to August or November, because that month actually it's quite sunny here. It's considered as a, because in Indonesia we have only two seasons, rainy and dry season, and then mostly the rainy season start in December, January, February. So yeah, and then the rain here is, I mean, like, it's really heavy rain. So sometimes it's gonna be disturb you to go somewhere outside. It's not quite funny when you want to go to the beach and then it's heavy rain, so you cannot do the sunbathing and then enjoy the sunset or something like that. So I truly suggest you to come to Bali, start from March, and then also sometimes in December also the weather is pretty cool, because you can also enjoy the New Year's Eve in Bali pretty well. But January, February, definitely it's a rainy season.
Yeah, so now it must be rainy season.
And then also in Bali, yeah, yes, exactly. It's really, really heavy rain here in Bali. So sometimes for the traveler, it's hard to go outside. And then also in Bali, there is a day called Nyepi. So in Nyepi, mostly it's one day, or sometimes it can be last for 2 days. And Nyepi is actually a part of the holy day of the Hindus. And in that Nyepi day, literally there is no internet access. You cannot go the outside because there will be a local police that will go around to see if there is a people. Even though you are a foreigner, you have to stay at home or at the hotel. There is no light, and then there is no internet communications, and then you just stay at your place. So for example, in the night it's gonna be really dark. It's like a dead city, and then you cannot hear any sound of music, the people not speak loudly, and then there is no, of course, motorbike or car outside, because everyone stay at home, and then it's really dark, no light.
Wow.
It's you don't have to go to work that day.
Yes, it's a holiday as well. So we have to stay at home, and then we have to have a food stock, because there is, even though the airport is closed as well.
Wow. And when is it?
So we call it Nyepi. So I think in every, like, once in a year they have that Nyepi. They have a special month. So before coming to Bali, you have to make sure that, well, actually, a funny thing is some people come to Bali, foreigner itself, because they want to experience that day, the Nyepi day. So it's kind of the time when you have to purifying your body, your soul, and then it's just the time that remember God and do something spiritual, far away from like your daily activity. And then many people actually come to Bali with a purpose to experience that day. But you have to, I mean, like, when you come to Bali, you have to a little bit know that, because otherwise when you came to Bali and then the Nyepi day, and then you are surprised because you cannot go anywhere, and then there is no communication system. The government shut down the internet connection.
Yeah, I think I didn't know about that.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing. And is it on?
Yeah, and then also it's really good to reduce the pollution.
Yeah.
The sky is really beautiful, especially the light pollution. So you can see actually the star. It's really beautiful.
And is it on the same day every year, or it's changing like Chinese New Year?
It's actually changing based on the date of Hindus. But that's always happen once in a year.
I see.
So
Yeah.
yeah, go on.
It's like a Muslim when we have Lebaran or Eid holiday, and then it's moved every month, but at least once in a year. It's, yeah, I think it's quite different with the like Christmas, and that it's happened in every 25 December or something like that. But that's pretty the same with the Eid, that it happened once in a year, but the time exactly sometime is changing.
So it happens only in Bali?
Yeah, it's happened only in Bali. We call it Nyepi Day, the silent day.
Wow. Yeah, I think we'll also need that one day offline.
Silent day.
Yeah, and is there anything you would like to add before we wrap up the conversation?
Yeah, especially now because the COVID situation. I mean, like tourism industry is one of the hardest to survive. So yeah, well, but luckily that in Bali, then the case of the COVID-19 right now in Bali is a little bit lower compared to other city in Indonesia. So right now the government's trying to build the system, how the new normal life, and then also the adapting with the COVID situation, along with how they rebuild the tourism industry here in Bali. But right now, everything is so cheap in Bali. Like I know there is one like 4-star hotel. Even they sell their room for $100 1 month,
Wow. Cheaper.
and it is a 4-star hotel. Yeah, it's really really cheap here. It's like 1.4 million in Indonesia,
Wow.
or equal with $100 American dollar, and then you can stay at the hotel for a month.
That's cool.
Yeah, everything is so cheap here, especially in the pandemic. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, before we started recording this episode, you told us that you are not that active in social media, Facebook, Instagram, right? So how people can find you if they have any questions?
Okay, so if you have any question, you can always send me to my email. My email is Nazar Malik 990 at gmail.com. So you can always send me any questions.
Nazar, thank you so much. We really enjoyed talking to you, and
You are very welcome. Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's kind of really interesting conversation. Yeah,
yeah, thank you, and take care.
you're very welcome. Yeah, you too.